welcome back. So we're going to start off with this picture today because this picture is the image that I found when I was searching Pinterest looking for fall looks, and in Mallory's MBM Elite group, gave us the challenge of finding a picture of some kind of fall picture, anything you want, and then taking it and making it into a tumbler. It didn't have to be literal. It could be, you know, figurative or whatever, but I really went somewhat literal on this, and I just can't wait for you to see how this ends up and how I got to this look. It is really awesome, and I just think neon for fall should be a thing from now on. So anyways, let's get started. First of all, you got to pick some beautiful glitters. So I've got Peachy Olive and Bougie glitter, some amazing colors, and I have these other two colors here that we're going to mix and do a little bit of blending with those, just to tone down the neon just ever so slightly, only just to bring in a little bit of that fall look. So I took this outside and I actually painted it a dark orange. And I ended up not having enough of that orange, and it just would not, there was nothing more coming out. And so I ended up just taking the coral that I had and just spray painting over it. I don't know if it made a difference putting that darker color underneath that coral, but I just wanted to be honest with y'all that that's how I achieved this look. So the basic coral might have been a little bit brighter, I don't know, but that's how this particular thing happened here. So as you can see there, I took my Cami Page Boutique Ultimate Tumbler tool, and I took off all the little pieces and used just that piece where you can stick a pen or a marker, or like I used my little weeding pen, and I just stuck it in there and scraped around the side. And that was basically where I wanted to kind of break it apart. Now, what I'm doing here, break it in half, I guess is what I should say. Anyways, what I'm doing here is I'm taking my weeding pen and I was measuring half of the tumbler, right? And so the reason that I was doing this was I was not trying to get an exact, you know, measurement, because what I was doing was I wanted the bottom part to be like the pink and the orange boots like she was wearing. And her skirt, how it had the pink and the orange coming out from underneath it. And so what I did here was I took my measuring tape and I'm just kind of basically measuring out like 1 inch, right? And this wasn't an exact thing because I was just trying to get a look. And so I was trying to figure out which tape would, you know, give me that right amount of space going to the middle, or that, you know, 2/3 of the way down, or whatever it was that I had, you know, pretty much got the tumbler. I did have a few scratches whenever I was, because I had just painted it and like brought it inside, and I maybe let it dry for maybe like 20 minutes or something. So it was probably a little too early for me to be messing and doing all of these things, but it's okay. We're going to cover it up with glitter. No big deal. I got it to work, so that's not a problem. But I will say that just let it dry a little bit longer, or put it in front of a heater, that kind of thing. But that was the only mishap that I had during this in the beginning, was just kind of getting a little bit of that paint scraped off there. So I'm taking double-sided tape, one of my favorites. I love double-sided tape. And since we painted this, that coral, orangey base, whatever, I was just going to put the tape right over it and go with putting the glitters on, you know, there. We didn't have to paint or do anything on the bottom, obvious, underneath that, because we started off with that base color that was going to work for both of those colors. Plus her sweater was a little bit darker, and so just had a little bit darker than that tulle, and so I knew that it would kind of give us this darker look. And anyways, you'll see I kind of mix up a little bit of the glitters and make it a little bit darker in that sense as well. So I just love the way that, you know, all of that image of those colors, and doing fall and everything. I just love the way this all came together. So I took my CrystaLac glitter glue and I butted it right up against those double-sided tape stickers that we had put on there. And I will have to say, I mean, it does work, the glitter glue, but I definitely do not like it as, I do not like it as much as I do the epoxy method. You know, I thought in this case, because we were dealing with the, you know, double-sided tape on the top and just, I didn't want to put epoxy down on the bottom. So I was like, well, I'm going to use the glitter glue. I'd love the glitter glue to seal my glitters. But as far as like applying them, I don't know. I just think epoxy method is my favorite. But so what I'm explaining here is that those lines that I made coming from the bottom of the tumbler where I cut it in half was that I'm going to put the orange on just that particular side of the tumbler, right? So I'm going to focus on just blending it in to each of those lines that I drew with my weeding pen on either side. And so I'm just taking this and kind of like, I didn't even open up the bottle or anything. I went just using the sprinkle, you know, just using the, you know, whatever, the sprinkle top, because I didn't want it to be full coverage, because I just wanted a basis of that neon underneath. And I just wanted to blend those two at those lines on either side. And so this was kind of my way of kind of setting that base, you know, setting the stage for it, and then going in with all of these colors here. So one of these is Jerkface and one is Sweetie Pie. Anyways, one has kind of an orangey kind of look to it, pinky orange, and then the other one has like a pinky orange look. It's like they're kind of the same, but one was a little bit more pink, one was a little bit more orange, right? So I thought that those would be perfect matches to bring out, you know, just to kind of mute that neon just a little, ever so slightly. And so I kind of did an ombre a little bit of the two neon colors, and then I put a little bit more of the Sweetie Pie and Jerkface, you know, kind of blending those in on the top and the bottom. And as you can see, the place where I had scraped off of the paint, I needed to fill that in a little bit more. So I went in and was like putting more of the Jerkface and Sweetie Pie in there, and I realized that I was going to have to put another coat of glitter glue and kind of cover this up. I kept thinking, if I fill in more glitter, it'll be fine, but it just ended up not being the case. So no big deal. I just put another coat of glitter glue on there and went back in and did a whole nother ombre and filler in with all of the colors of the glitter. Now after that, I went in and just kind of rolled my cup in the glitter, and this was when I was just kind of like, okay, I'm definitely going to have to put another coat on here. And I was just hoping that that wasn't the case, but there was just no way around it. And so I just thought I would get all of the glitter off as much as possible and then set it to dry and then go in with our second coat. So I decided to, like I said, mix a little bit of the Jerkface Sweetie Pie and the Flamingo and Neon Tangerine. I mixed them up together, and so that way each one would have a little bit more of a darker pink, more of a fall neon pink, and then the other one would have, you know, I was just trying to find that nice balance between you know, too pink and too orangey, and, you know, vice versa with the other one. And so I just put them in these little medicine cups and just kind of mixed it until I didn't do any particular, you know, exact measurements or, you know, counts of how much I put in there. I just kind of sprinkled and sprinkled until I thought that, well, this looks good. this will work. So y'all have seen me do this. You've seen probably many people do this, but I just thought I'd go over a couple of them just to kind of show you that I kind of off, did one then the other. Anyways, to get the stripes. And so, but I always want to go over whenever I do this, is that I actually burnish the glitter into that sticky. You know, I really try to make sure that it is all stuck into each and every, you know, little crevice of that sticky part. And so I always take, you know, my finger, my thumb or whatever, and just kind of rub all of that glitter in there. But as you can see, it just adding a little bit of that Jerkface and Sweetie Pie to each one of these, it really just tones down the neon ever so slightly. Now, it does not look as neon as it does in these videos because I have, you know, lots of lights and everything on there, but it does look really cool, and it just has this just hint of neon. I don't know, I just was really very excited about this one. So this is when I decided that I was like, I'm gonna have to do this. Like I just kept thinking maybe it'll just go away. Well, it did not go away. And so at first I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do a little bit, right? I'm just gonna cover that one little piece up. And then I said, what am I doing? I was like, that is not gonna work. And then I was like, okay, I'll just cover up this top part, just the top part, you know. And then as I was, you know, kind of doing that, I just said, don't do that, Erica. Just go in and do like a full coat, you know, just do the ombre, do everything on there again, and do this right, you know. So anyways, this is a little bit longer video, so I'm going to just kind of go through this a little bit with the music and just kind of show you how I did a little bit more of the ombre in different ways. But I don't need to sit there and talk to you about it because you know how to do an ombre and you've seen me do it, and I was doing it before. But I just wanted you to see just the different colors, how I did it just a little bit differently, and I think this worked out way better in the end. As you can see here, this is what I did. I went in with the mixes that I made of those two stripes and added that instead. So I let that dry, obviously, for a few hours probably. And then I went in with our first coat of epoxy. Now, I still can see that there are some like little bit of, you know, pieces, you know, gaps or whatever, where we had a little bit of the glitter not showing, or the cup showing through, the paint coming off, whatever, all the things. But what I was going to do was put on these beautiful stickers that I got that were from Create by Firefly. Whenever we went to TumblerCon, I did a lot of shopping there. It was one of my favorite shops. I did most of my shopping there, and I found these flowers, and they were darker, and they had a little bit of a fall look to them. And this is where I kind of got into where, okay, I'm going to do this, but then I'm going to add a fall element. And when I found the decal, that was when it hit me that those flowers that I got that I thought would be really pretty on a fall tumbler were going to be perfect to tie in these two things. So I added a couple of layers of epoxy in because the once again, we were going to be putting things that had a clear surrounding. So I wanted to make sure that I had a really nice smooth coat. So out of pure curiosity, I got this grand finale. I follow Lauren Quigley, and then she's a big promoter of Bright Tone. And I've really been thinking about the fact that epoxy and in my house and just everything else. And so I've been thinking about going a different route. And so I thought, I'm going to try this. Now, what I did here was I went ahead and used it as a layer I did some sanding after the two coats, and I didn't want to put another coat of epoxy on there because I was going to be putting stickers and, decals, and I just didn't. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to use this stuff that I just got. I had just got it in. I put it in this squeeze bottle because it was much easier than that big bucket, because I would have dropped that bucket somewhere and spilt it all over the place. And so this is a little bit better for me to handle. And so I thought, you know what? I'm going to put a coat of this on here and number one, see how long it dries, how long it takes to dry. Number two, just see how it feels, when it's coated. And just all the things. And I thought, I could just do it in the middle of this just to kind of show y'all an alternative in just this one moment kind of thing. But I really, honestly, it went on very smooth. And I was first using this squeegee, right? I don't know that I put on too much. I felt like maybe afterwards I put on a little bit too much, but it didn't, I don't know. This was going to be a learning process for me for sure, and how these coats go on there. But anyways, I ended up after I did this with the squeegee, I went in with my finger and I just smoothed it out like they say that you can do. And I didn't feel, I didn't have a reaction or anything like that. And so, I don't know. I just thought all in all, it was totally cool that I could just put a coat of this grand finale on there, and then that would basically be my coat of epoxy, so I could put my clear, stickers and decals and things like that on there. So anyways, I'm going to be doing a lot more with this product, start to finish kind of thing, and really give y'all a feel for, how it works and the things you can do with it and all of that. So I found this image off of Creative Fabrica. And I actually tried to cut an image using that image. I tried to do like just a basic vinyl cut, and it did not work. So I just went in and kind of measured it, and then measured an oval shape and just kind of did it that way. Now what you saw there was I actually put some alcohol on after it dried for about 2 hours or more. And I put alcohol on there and it got really sticky. And I was like, oh no, please don't tell me that I screwed this up, that I can't do this. But I just set it off to the side there while I cut these flowers out, because there was only particular ones that I wanted to use. And once I picked it back up, it was perfectly fine. That was not sticky anymore. But it made me nervous at first. I thought, oh no, I screwed this thing up. But it's okay. No big deal. It went back to completely solid and feeling, like it was fine. So anyways, like I said, I got these stickers at TumblerCon. I got them from Create by Firefly, and they have the white backing on the print. I know a lot of y'all have seen this, but I just think it's really cool that you can just, I don't know, just have something ready that's sealed, that's, that can just go on something. You don't have to go print it. You don't have to go seal it. You don't have to go, you don't have to seal it even after you put it on the tumbler. You don't have to do any of that. And so what I was trying to do was find, my little moments of, where my glitter had been was coming off. underneath and everything so that I could cover it up with these images. And so it worked out really well. I was able to kind of cover everything up and give a good solid look on this tumbler. So I picked these particular flowers because they just kind of matched the flowers that were in that decal. They kind of matched in color-wise and style-wise. And so that's why I went specifically with these. But I also think that they kind of toned down everything just ever so slightly. But, you know, and here is the oval that I did basically in Design Space. And so I just kind of measured the from top to bottom and then kind of like the widest part out, and I just kind of did the oval and did it on this like white glittery vinyl that I have. And I thought, you know what, we're going to do it this way, because I was going to try to cut an exact piece off from this particular image and just kind of black it out and just do it that way. But there was too many little things on the side, too many images that were like, you know, having to be cut, like really tiny little details, and it just wasn't working. So I just scratched that idea and went this route. So I wanted to put the decal on there because I wanted to make sure wherever the decal was, it was going to be on the direct opposite side of where I started my, you know, double-sided tape. And so I could cover up that line and everything. So I was trying to be strategic in my placement of the flowers and the decal so that I could cover up, you know, a little bit of those flaws, a little bit of those places where we had a little bit of, you know, an accident. No big deal. We got it covered up, but love it. So obviously you have to let that water slide dry. I did not have to let anything dry on the rest of the tumbler, but that water slide needed to dry. And so I got that dried, and then I just went in. I did not seal anything. I just went right in to my coat of epoxy. I put a coat after this, and then of course I did sanding on the rim, the bottom, and everywhere to make sure that we were, you know, smooth and happy and all of that. And then I went in with my final coats of epoxy, and there she is. I tell you what, this one I was very proud of. I really, really loved the image, that dress, that just fun, casual neon look in the fall. I loved the mix of the pink and the orange and just subtle, you know, going into either one with the boots being different colors and the stripes on the shirt. And I just really, the image caught my eye, and I thought, you know, why can't we do neon for fall? Like, why can't we, you know? Anyways, I love Mallory's group, and this is just so much fun. And this was another awesome challenge. Please see the link down below so you can go and join in and have a great time with us. Anyways, I updated my website. Please go and check it out. Everything's linked down below. Like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you next time.